Hey guys, this is Notic. Uh, Now, most of you might know Amazon as an online store that people buy things from, or Prime Video, which has stuff. If you haven't heard about Amazon, I don't know what to tell you. Uncle Bezos, who owns Amazon here, has half the internet on his little computers. Well, they're not really little, they come in decent sized packages called data centers. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're pretty huge. When you use Netflix or play Fortnite, you are essentially using AWS servers to access these services. Amazon first started as a website selling books. How did they become one of the largest players in the cloud computing space? So, in the early 2000s, when I wasn't even born, launching a startup was a huge deal. If you wanted to build an app or a website, then you couldn't just write code. You had to buy physical servers, have a place to put it in, set up cooling so it doesn't melt, and hire a guy to maintain all this. Amazon called this undifferentiated heavy lifting. It was tedious, expensive, and it didn't make your actual app any better. It just produced what they called mug. If you feel this video isn't a mug, like and subscribe to play along with. Hey. During this time, Amazon was growing too fast. It took weeks to ship things because teams were too big. So, Uncle Bezos implemented something called two pizza rule, which meant no team inside Amazon should be so large that they couldn't be fed by two pizzas. He broke his team into tiny independent squads, but for this to work, they needed a standardized way to access computing juice. So they essentially built a utility system like a vending machine that gives access to compute. Enter 2006. Incidentally, the year I was born. I guess great things just have a bit of dropping that year. So Amazon realized that if the internal teams desperately needed this computing vending machine, maybe the rest of the world did too. So they polished it up and launched two services that changed the internet forever. S3, a storage service, and EC2, a computing and processing service. This gave flexibility to its users. Like if an app has 10 users, you would only pay for the storage and compute that would be needed to accommodate them. If you had 1000 users, you only pay what's required for them. You paid exactly for what you used by the hour. For years, Amazon's competitors like Google and Microsoft missed out on scale and margins. Nobody realized the absolute juggernaut AWS had become until 2015. In 2015, Amazon finally broke out AWS in their financial disclosures. The plot twist? AWS wasn't just a side hustle. It was very profitable for the company. Selling physical items has very thin profit margins. Renting out digital servers, that is basically printing money. AWS 2015 operating income of $1.86 billion made up the large majority of Amazon's total operating income of $2.23 billion for the total year. Fast forward to Q1 of 2026, AWS operating income alone was $14.2 billion, nearly 60% of Amazon's entire $23.9 billion in operating income that year. AWS changed the barrier to entry for building a business. Before AWS, you needed millions in venture capital just to buy hardware. Today, a kid in their bedroom can launch the next $1 billion app using the exact same infrastructure that powers Netflix. And it costs them a few bucks to start. Amazon took the most complex, expensive part of the internet and turned it into a utility. You don't build your own power plant to get electricity, and thanks to AWS, you don't build your own servers to run an app. You just plug into the wall and Uncle Bezos sends you the bill. Today, AWS makes up about 31% of the total global cloud infrastructure market, firmly holding its crown as largest cloud services provider on the planet. Also, guys, apparently Amazon spent a lot of money to design their UI, so you would click buy, and YouTube spent a lot to designing the perfect way to click subscribe. Let's see if it works.